Good evening and welcome to another stream from the YouTube's Retro Repairers group. And on this episode, we have got Mark Fix's stuff. How you doing, Mark? You all right?
Feeling gorgeous today. Yeah,
you're looking gorgeous, mate. I've had a shower and I've had a shave and I've done my hair for you.
Yeah. I've got a squeaky chair as well.
That's it.
The squeaky chair,
the rocker.
Like those screamer videos. Everybody's wife's walking in now. Go, what are you watching?
What are you watching?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. It's absolutely brilliant. You've come on. I'm really happy that you've come on. I've been doing YouTube for about 4 years now. Some of the others have done it for a couple of years now. I think Retro for You has done it for 2 years. I think Josip's about the same.
Yeah.
And I think Lee's about the same as well, aren't you? A couple of years?
Yeah.
So I was looking back at yours, Mark, and you've been doing YouTube. Well, Cotton has been doing YouTube since 2012.
Yeah. Man and boy, mostly boy.
Yeah, I watched your first video not the other day, and Manic Miner it was.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I did that as a bet. I thought, I bet I'm crap at this, and I won. I was right.
So was that your first video that you've done, or did you do all before that? Or
that was the first video I did on YouTube. I was in a Facebook group of people, sort of general interest stuff. And someone else in there was making a video, and they said, "Oh, you should make a video." And I was like, "I don't want to." They're like, "You should." I'm like, "No." And they went, "Oh, I'll probably be crap anyway." So I went, "Yeah, all right, then I'll do one." And then, the sort of trail of breadcrumbs of catastrophe started there, So, then I've been all over YouTube, like an awful rash, or I'm in everything now, like gluten. You can't get away from me. And people have built up the same sort of vapid intolerance to me as well, which is quite lovely.
It contains MFS. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like monosodium glutamate, but less tasty.
So yeah, it sounds like you've got a pretty similar story to myself. I mean, I started repairing stuff when we were sort of like back at the PlayStation days. I'm a mechanic by trade.
Yeah, and then you started installing mod chips for money. So
just for my mates, to be fair, originally.
Yeah, and you had to replace the lasers because they all got worn out, and that's how you got your start through crime.
That's it.
Hey, Reggie Cray.
I think we all did that.
We could go back to school, didn't you? How many copies did you get at school or give out?
Well, I'll tell you what, that'd be nice if the PlayStation came out when I was at school. That'd be lovely. It'd take about 10 years off me. That would. No, God, when I was at school, it was Spectrum sort of +2s later days, and then the Amiga, the Amiga. So yeah. Then I left school and I went into a floppy diskette duplication factory near Heathrow, and we were doing all the cover discs for Amiga Action, Amiga Format, all that stuff. Nice. So I had to make sure they all worked. I had to do virus checking on them, the Amiga. Believe it or not.
Yes, it did.
And we did all sorts of stuff. We did Amiga. We did Atari ST, naturally. Well, we did one for the Archimedes for a bit, so we got an Archimedes in for a while to test those discs. But then the company added on a CD duplication side. So then we started doing these discs for AOL, which everybody will know.
Everybody got that.
AOL.
That was
1,000 hours free,
Yeah.
That was something online, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, America Online, and everybody
it sounds a bit different to that. I know what you're saying.
CompuServe as well. So we were a broad church there. We did both the competitors, America Online and CompuServe. I always preferred CompuServe, to be honest. It was a bit more geeky, whereas AOL just seemed to be pictures of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
It's coming back, isn't it? She's making
it is coming back. I'm quite pleased with that. I'm contrary to most of the people in my age range, I'm not averse to a bit of a reboot or a bringing back of, as long as they don't go, okay, hear me out, right? What we're going to do, we're going to take Transformers, the loved 80s cartoon, And stay with me here, guys. We've done some focus groups, and we think it'd be great if we brought it back. But instead of robots, it's squirrels. With the cast of current Saturday Night Live. I'm like, what are you doing, boys? This is not what the people want, you know. But yeah, they're making a He-Man movie as well, so that will be interesting. But I mean,
I'm not pretty keen on, you know, like reboots and stuff. I think they should leave things as were. It's a bit like Goonies. You know, they're talking about remaking another Goonies either before or after going hunting for the ship, etc. and stuff like that. But I think classics like that we should be leaving alone. You know what I mean? But
you know, I don't mind a continuation of the story. You know, if they can keep some of the cast in. So if the Buffy thing like comes out and it's Buffy and a couple of the characters that are still alive in that universe. And if they get James McMasters or James Masters, who played Spike, I think, if they get him to come along, they'll have to retcon something in that became human for a while to, you know, to age him. And I think that'd be all right. A continuation within that universe, that's fine. But it's when they do try and do things like they'll go, oh, this was popular in the 80s, so let's remake that. Except we're going to put loads of people in it, change all the characters, and because then it's not for anyone. It's not for the people who are nostalgic for the original because you've changed it, and the new audience doesn't know it, so it's not for them. You know. A good example of that, in my opinion, was Ghostbusters.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, the call 2016. It was for no one. It wasn't a terrible film. I mean, I quite
enjoyed it.
Brutally panned. I mean, I quite enjoyed the film Bridesmaids, and it was like Bridesmaids in Ghostbusters cosplay.
Exactly.
You know? And I did laugh a couple of times. I thought Chris Hemsworth was quite good in it, but it wasn't a Ghostbusters film. You know?
Like it was nice to brought the old characters back, wasn't it? And then they're leading into the new characters, you know, to phase them and bring them into that. You can see what they're doing, and I've seen that sort of happen with a few films just lately. You know, trying to. I don't
mind it because if it's not for me, it's not for me. But at least it's paying an homage, as it were, to the original universe, and I'm okay with that. Goonies, I don't think you can remake it. The problem with Goonies is, and I'll tell you, sorry, I'm talking too much, and there's 4 other people.
It's all right, mate. It's not a problem.
So Goonies, absolute classic from back in the day, but in the 80s, films were paced differently. They were much slower paced. So if you go and watch the Goonies now with your kids or anyone under the age of 20, they're sitting there and they're going, "This is really slow." And it wasn't slow back then. It was the pace we were accustomed to. E.T., for example, go and watch E.T. The pacing is really, really slow. If anything, right, one thing that's benefited from that, Alien and Aliens, they've actually got more terrifying for modern audiences because that like incredible gut-wrenching feeling of terror is actually longer for the TikTok generation because they've spent so long going, no, not interested. Sigourney Weaver, like Moments from Death, for even longer perceptually for them. Then that's that's really amplified that for them. But Goonies, I played to my kids; they weren't having a bit of it. You know, my missus is a big Goonies fan as well. She was incredibly disappointed, and we were both surprised that it dropped so many swear words in a film that was considered okay for us back then.
What okay for us? We're Gen X.
Are we? I don't know. So many people poo-poo what Gen X. I just know I'm old. You know,
I go, I'm a boomer and all these days, but there you go.
But it's the same thing with the games. Before, when let's say you go through the game and you collect the coin, right? Yeah. And you go cling, and now it has to be cling, cling. It needs to have hype, and that's not what I don't know. I'm not really enjoying those things.
I was just on BlueSky and someone made the comment, I said, what is it that you miss about the old games? And someone actually said, manuals. And I said, it's right, because instead of a manual, they think, we won't do a manual because that'll cost a bit of money. We'll have to pay someone to write it. We'll have to print it. We'll have to put it in the box, and we can't sell it digitally. So what we'll do, we'll make a 2.5 hour long intro level.
Exactly,
Press X to roll, press X and Y and both shoulder buttons to do a tailspin. jump up and down, wear a floppy hat if you want to use your magic. You're like, I can't remember this, for God's sake. I don't remember put a freaking recycling out once a month. Come on.
Not good at Tekken then.
Why don't they only come once a bloody month? And they've doubled the bills. And then before you know it, you're leaning out of a window going, oh, clouds, they're not what they used to be. Sorry. Yeah. People say, why do you spend so much time, invested in retro? And, does it take a lot away from, your free time? I'm like, no, because it just means I don't have to buy into all the new stuff, which is a massive time saving. People are like, have you done a TikTok? I'm like, what?
What's that? Yeah.
Do I have to? TikTok? Come on.
It just feels like a child's thing, doesn't it? Just TikTok. I know it's not, but it just feels like it. I mean, people have said it to me. You do TikTok. Why don't you do it? And I'm like, it's not for me. I don't know why. It's just not for me. It just doesn't sound.
Well,
professional as such. Do you know what I mean?
I don't. I mean, I've had a bit of a social media sort of reshuffle recently. I've come off one platform because it was just spam and bots. I couldn't take it anymore. And it was really getting quite bad, and people just fighting on it. So I've come off the unnamed platform, and I've gone on BlueSky. That's nice. I get quite a lot of decent people chatting on the stuff there, but there's an audience there for me. The audience on X sort of drifted away because of all the noise, and the audience on Facebook that seems to drifted away a bit more. BlueSky's sort of working for me a lot better for people talking to me, because people go, oh, you've got to get engagement. I say, I don't want engagement. I just want to talk to people about stuff I like. Nobody's going to give me £1 million if I get loads of people liking my thing. I just want valid responses. So that's been working really well. But I don't think, whilst there's an audience for me on BlueSky, I don't actually think people on TikTok are the people who care about what I do. I mean, are any of you guys, do you actually sit there and go through TikTok for any retro content?
Not for retro.
Don't use it at all.
I don't use it. I don't use it.
I had a look at TikTok, and there's some, dancers, shall we say, and I can see why some people watch it. I'm not averse to any of that, but I haven't got time for that.
You should put that on YouTube. They get 100k subs instantly.
Exactly, yeah.
I'd be good at that, wouldn't I? I'd be good at that. I mean, Mankini, the first 4 letters spell out Mank for a reason. Does my bum look big in this? Pics in bio. Well, I'm going to shut up for a minute now.
It seems to me that TikTok is like endless cameos of talking animals and just crap.
Yeah, the talking animals are the best bit, I think.
Singing animals, yeah.
Singing animals, yeah.
Yes,
I mean, Facebook Reels is the same, really. YouTube Shorts, they're all the same thing by a different.
I don't bother with them as well.
I think they've just got different audience segments on the different platforms. So I've done a couple of YouTube Shorts because people keep saying, "Oh, you've got to," and people don't realise that when you make videos, it's a lot of bloody work.
Exactly.
And to take that content and reformat that into a short that A, people will want to watch, B, doesn't give away the point of the massive video that you've been spending all your time on. It's very difficult. So then when you do that and you release it, you get 1,000 views, that's great. But is it worth the effort? I don't really know. I don't know if, again, the people who watch my videos really want to see that, to be fair. But I could be wrong. I'm about to say making shorts is laziness a lot of the time.
I don't like shorts. I just really don't like shorts. I know they're good for some people, but I
tried. It didn't work for me.
I've tried a couple of things. I tried cutting down bits of a video and putting those in. I did one of, I think I took bits of de-rusting a hammer, because you see that, don't you?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah. that was all right. It was just a stupid thing I did, and people seem to like that. Yeah. I never really know what to make next, to be honest. I haven't been able to make video for months at the moment because of moving house. So that's been a bit of a pain, but I should be able to do something soon.
I'm going to say, how are you getting on with that?
It's a tale of woe. So I moved here to what we call our sort of forever home, because I'm never moving again unless I'm wearing a concrete overcoat or a pine box. I'm never moving again. But there's a bit of land out the back, which is basically the end of the woods. And I thought, I'll build a little shed out there. That'll be great because we're near a canal. It's nice and peaceful. And I've subsequently found out there's a conservation area. So when you're building on land that you own, you've got these things called permitted development rights, which sort of like you're allowed to do it without applying for planning permission. And because it's a conservation area, in one of the statutes, it says there's no permitted development rights. So you've got to apply to do it. And not only have you got to apply to do it, it costs about £800 to apply. Jesus. Then you've got to get someone to draw up a risk analysis and all that sort of stuff. So I thought, well, sod this for a game of soldiers. Out the front, I've got a garage, and I'll get that converted instead with the money, because I've saved up the money to do this. I mean, it was a choice I made. I need somewhere to make videos where I can have my things out, where I can have my ultrasonic cleaner out, my laser cutter out, and I can leave my things out, because it's not anything I've had before that the kids haven't fallen over or catch shit on. And oh, look at this PlayStation 1, it's dripping with yellow urine and all that sort of stuff. But I've done that, and because of the road we're in, we've got some really lovely neighbours who are very, very concerned with the upkeep of the local area, shall we say. And I've got to apply for planning permission for that. It's the same cost to do that. And because the garage is on the what they call front elevation of the property, it's got to be in keeping with all the local housing. And I've got a bloody things drawn up. All I want is a posh shed, I could have done it by now.
I'm going to say, can't you just put a shed in the backyard? Do you have to have planning permission for a shed?
Under permitted development, no.
Right.
But because you're allowed to have a shed up to, I think, 2.4 meters, as long as it's within 1 meter away from any boundary. But permitted developments here, I have to apply for planning permission for a shed. And I was looking at getting a cabin, a large cabin, and there's room for it. You couldn't do anything else on the land. There's trees and that, but it just happens to be this serendipitous gap in the trees. But that's not to be at the moment. It's not something I've put to bed.
You could really annoy him and put a porta cabin there, couldn't you? It's temporary.
Yeah.
Caravan or something, yeah.
Caravan. Park it down the street. But yeah, I'm looking to do the garage instead now. And I've got a fella coming around on Friday to look at that. And we've got to put in the seeking of planning permission. We also need to change the drive, because they look at all sorts of things when you're changing the garage. It's like, yeah, you're changing the garage. Is that going to increase like the parking requirement in the street? And if you're doing anything to the front of the garage, not that you could fit a car in this garage. It was built in 1986. And the wing mirrors wouldn't go in, but it's something they need to look at. And they need to look at, is it going to change the drainage in the street? And is it going to be an accessible hazard to the public? And all this sort of nonsense. I'm not one of those people who go, oh, health and safety gone mad. But it's health and safety gone mad.
It is, to be fair, especially when you're converting a garage and it affects nothing outside.
It affects all it's going to do is look nicer, So yeah, that's Have I ranted enough yet?
So we'll ask you what plans for YouTube videos you've got coming up in future.
Well, I've got a few bits I'm going to be doing. But before I moved, see, I had to sell the house I was in because I couldn't afford it. Straight talk here.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't afford this. Oh my God, everything's gone up.
Yeah.
It was lovely. What was her face? Lettuce Liz. She just tripled my outgoings overnight. I'm like, I can't afford it. So I had to sell, and I was trying to sell for ages and ages and ages. And then one day someone went, well, I'm not giving you what you want, but I'll give you this. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I had to move really quick. So I'm like halfway through a video shooting in my old house of replacing the clock and settings backup battery in the GameCube. I took this GameCube, which was in bits in a bag, and I put it in a new case, and I put what's it called? Team Off Broadway flippy drive.
The green one, was it?
Yeah, the one that looks
like,
I've
seen that, yeah.
One that looks like energy drink P.
That's it, yeah.
So I do need to finish that up, but I'm going to have the thing in the middle and go, look, I just had to move like on the hoof, so everything's different. I've not found half the bits again yet either, but I'm gonna reskin one of the controllers with this. It's not a match, but I think it's urine tagged, you know.
That can go with place that urine PlayStation.
Invisible. And I put a video out to my patrons, which is about an hour of me going through a load of stuff that I was moving, all the stuff from the house fire. And I found the Game Boy Color, which has been all singed on the back and it can't be cleaned. So I got a sort of a smoke grey case, which you can't see because why would you be able to see it on the? No, that's even bloody worse. I can't believe it. Look at that. Right, look at these effects, everyone. Tom Baker's going to walk in a minute in a scarf.
It certainly looks transparent.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Just a little fun thing.
Cool.
And then I want to move on to some media projects, but believe it or not, I've got channel sponsors that want me to do stuff. I've got this thing called a contract, and I'm kind of in breach of it. So that's all right. What are they going to do? Sue me? Oh yeah. It'll be okay.
It gets hard work sometimes, doesn't it? When you've got to do things, you know, you like to do videos and stuff like that when you want to do it, so it's more natural and instead of being forced to do it.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, it all seemed so easy. You know, I was going to come over here. I was going to do a little diary of building the workshop, and then put it together and then start making videos. And I thought, oh well, that's not panning out. I'll do a diary of converting the garage, and that's not working out. And now it's, well, I can't really do a diary about having to commandeer the bloody living room table, can I? Can't do a diary of my missus going, but where will we eat? Think about the children.
That's where Neil started.
That's where I started on the kitchen table, yeah. Now I'm in my shed now.
Yeah, it looks nice there, to be fair. Got a few Mac S30s there.
It's rather full, but
well, if it's not full, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, but there's just growing stuff is.
Well, I'm sure that you're going to release them to people will use them in the community eventually when you're ready. Yeah.
Let them go.
That's not going to happen.
Well, he picked up a lot of really good stuff not so long since, didn't you, Neil? If you want to go through that.
I did, yeah. I had a surprising collection. One of those you always dream of going to. I went to his house and he said, this guy has passed away and he's got this cupboard full of old computers. And I thought, I'll go along, see what he got. And I got there and computer after computer was coming out. I was just getting dead excited. Awesome. I should have filmed it, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had loads of stuff. Acorn Atoms, BBC Bees, BBC Masters. Nice. That Sinclair.
Archimedes, wasn't
there? Archimedes. The Sinclair Spectrum with the Disciple disk drive, which I'd never seen in my life. Just all sorts of strange stuff coming out. And still, but the thing is, because my shed's full, I actually ended up filling the Mini as well. So the Mini's just like become a shed now outside.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
There's all sorts in there, Mark. There's stuff like it's like a ZX81 that's on a board. You know, it's a bit like what you use at school to teach and stuff.
Yeah, with the breakouts, so you could use it for projects.
ZX80, I think, on there as well.
There's one.
Yeah, I've seen one of those before. Yeah.
Yeah. And the missus said to me before I went, don't you come back with a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
And I said, "You'd better stay here, love, because I don't want you coming with me."
Yeah, because I need the passenger seat.
You just tell her it's for Tetris, and she'll just accept it.
Exactly, yeah. So it ended up being really good. The only thing I didn't get was an Amstrad, which is quite sad, but I will get
quite
one.
common though, to be fair. You can find them pretty much anywhere. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I think you misspoke there. Don't you mean they're quite shit?
Well, I mean, one does not preclude the other, does it?
Well, no, common shit.
Walk down the high street, there's poo everywhere.
There was no need for that.
What was that?
The T-shirt.
It's good.
It's a bit of a running joke. Lee does not like Amstrad, even though he's got loads up on his shelf.
Did you notice it before, Lee?
No.
Oh, right, because I thought you'd notice it. I thought you'd say something straight away, but obviously you didn't notice.
I've just looked up and thought, what the fuck are you wearing?
Yeah.
So is there any YouTube channels that you watch, Mark? Is it you watch yourself?
YouTubers are all tossers, isn't it?
You know, I know that, Mark.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah, occasionally I don't really particularly watch one at all. I sort of like just dip in and see what subjects sort of take my fancy. But I've got so little time at the moment. I barely have time to do anything. I do play a bit of Baldur's Gate 3, which fills me full of what's the word I'm looking for? Guilt.
Yeah, I love Baldur's Gate, especially on PS2 and stuff like that. The Dark Alliance.
Number 3 is incredible. It's so long. There's these things, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm working up to the boss battle. You know, this is it. No, nowhere even near. There's things that I thought were the denouement, and they're so long ago now, I've forgotten them. Absolutely incredible. What a storyline. Yeah, I turned that on when I want to turn my brain off, and then after about 20 minutes of playing that, I'm knackered, so I have to go to bed.
Yeah.
That's like us all now, yeah.
My eyes start going.
Yeah. So what was your first home computer?
Acorn Electron, because my mum. Well, I have to go back a little bit. I went to school a long time ago when everything was black and white. Yeah, I went to school, and my friend at school was called Neil, because Neils bloody get everywhere.
I know what you mean.
Definitely. Bloody everywhere, these Neils.
As common as, you know.
Yeah, Amstrads. And Neil's dad was dead into computers, so he had a ZX Spectrum, a 48K rubber key jobby, and an Auric. I think it was Auric Atmos. Which one is the one with the orange keys? I can't remember. Was that an Auric?
I don't know.
Orange keys.
Like a calculator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway, he had one of those, and but he mainly had the Spectrum. So I go around his house, I play the Spectrum. I begged my mum for a Spectrum. So this was I can't remember what year, but it was the year when it was the year after Acorn missed the Christmas rush with the Electron, and there were loads of them sat in the warehouses. They were desperate to get rid of them. Yeah. So my mum went to Curry's, and the salesman convinced her that the Acorn Electron was compatible with Spectrum games, so I could swap games with my mate, and of course it wasn't. It'll play the games, he said, because he was, on a bung to get rid of them. But it worked out quite well because Neil's dad was dead into programming, and Neil wanted to learn BBC Basic because we had the BBC Bs at school. So we swapped for almost an entire year, and him and his dad were programming in BBC Basic on the Electron, and I had his Spectrum and about 40 games, which was like a king's ransom. Back then, so Jet Set Willy, Manic Miner, this brilliant game called Skull, which actually really fixes in my head. It's like a survival horror, a bit in the vein of 3D Monster Maze on the ZX81, but this skull with these gem eyes is after you. It's terrifying actually back then. Really felt immersive. But those are my formative things. So although my first computer was the Acorn Electron, I remember all the packing games like Snapper, which was Pac-Man, Boxer, which was the arcade machine, Popeye rip-off, Arcadians, which was a Galaxians knockoff, which was really good actually.
That's really good,
But Sphinx Adventure as well, that's the other one. Although I remember those quite fondly, actually, sort of my real formative first computer was the 48K Spectrum. So hence my love for it.
Is that where your main nostalgia lies then with Spectrum?
Yeah, but also my drive isn't really about reliving my youth. It's about having a look at the ones that I didn't have. You know,
same here,
all the things that you could never get your hands on back then, or weird things that nobody knew had, and you only found out like many years later even existed, like the TI 99 4A or the MSXs. In the UK, there's probably one person with an MSX in a 100-mile radius that you never heard of. You know his name was something like I don't even know. R-Class Clone or something. But it was absolutely massive in the Netherlands, where Philips had quite a big hold on the market. So the MSX standard was massive over there. So it's quite nice looking at that as a sort of a different prism to the retro experience. So yeah, I really enjoyed getting my hands on all the other stuff, as it were. Yeah,
stuff you could never play, sort of thing, back in the.
Never had a hope of owning, like an Amiga or anything like that back in the day until I went to work and there was one, and then, it was all about drinking and women and going out, waking up at a bus stop at 4 o'clock in the morning when someone's
wondering where you are.
Not again.
All the usual stuff.
Crazy stuff.
So I know you helped out Neil, the other Neil, at the museum right back in the beginning. How did you two originally meet up?
Oh God!
Had you known him before, or you met him on YouTube, or?
No, it was definitely via YouTube. I can't remember. I do remember. There was this awful period in retro gaming history where this scam company brought out something called the sorry, just checking my messages to make sure I'm not in trouble, called the Vega Plus, which was this awful handheld Spectrum. And the project started off with the best of intentions, and then somebody took someone else out of the board of directors. It became an internal struggle, and then the people that won it were just really interested in milking off all the money and running away. But they had their feet held to the fire to produce something, so they sent out these really terrible demo units to a few people, and I managed to get my hands on one. And I'd been talking to Neil about this and that for a while, because we shared like other stupid interests other than retro. And I went, what I've got, and he's like, yeah, you got to bring that on the channel, and we'll have a look at it and compare it to other Spectrum stuff. I'm like, yeah, all right. And that was it. So that was the first time we did a video together. I think something like Spectrum Heaven, Spectrum Hell or something. So yeah, and then we just did a few more bits after that. Then he moved to the mill, and I helped him move to the mill and move those bloody bookcases up those stairs. They're very, very heavy.
I can imagine.
But then I had things like the house fire and stuff like that happen. So I became really quite busy with dealing with that, getting the house redone, work as well. And a lot of people don't realise, but the mill is like an hour-and-a-half drive from where I live.
Yeah.
So people are like, oh, your house is burnt down, just go and film in the mill. I'm like, yeah, it's a 3-hour round trip. Yeah. It's nice when you get there, but your eyes are spinning for the first half an hour,
I mean, you were there a lot right at the beginning, so I think people just presumed that you were close by, if you know what I mean, back then.
Yeah, people thought I lived in the Atari cupboard.
Well, Alex is in the arcade archive, isn't he? He never comes out of there, does he?
Yeah, I've seen him for months.
He's a lovely guy, is Alex and all. I've never met him personally, but we've chatted a lot in the past. He's
a nice guy. He actually comes from just up the road from where I grew up, about a mile from where I used to my old stomping grounds in Feltham in Middlesex, and he's a Hanworth lad. So we had quite a lot in common when we first met.
Cool.
And everyone's like, "Why are you two talking in that funny language?" I'm like, it's just how we talk to each other.
Keep your nose out, it's code.
Yeah, keep your nose out, it's code. Yeah.
So yeah, he's done some cracking stuff as Neil. I really like what he's done with there at the museum. The other Neil, Retro for you, Neil. He's going next.
Lousy of them.
Yeah, I'm going next weekend.
Nice.
For my 50th birthday.
Oh, you're a young'un then.
Yeah, I'm the youngest here, I think. Definitely, you can tell.
Definitely. Yeah. The hope hasn't died behind your eyes.
No.
Not yet.
It will do on Friday, mate.
The lights are on.
Yeah.
It will hit me on Friday.
Is he dead? No, he still stinks. He's alive.
Yeah, halfway dead on Friday. Yeah.
So Neil from Retro for You suggested on one of the other live streams that we were thinking about having a bit of a game night. We haven't decided how to do that or anything like that yet. But probably just throw it out and record a few videos as playing as a game and see who wins, sort of thing. But that we've not sort of drawn out up or looked into it much deeper.
Well, you got to think about what games you're going to play first, and then how you're going to play them remotely.
God of War.
God of War. Online.
Well, behind closed doors, like he was suggesting Amstrad games, like, but you know.
Yeah, Harrier Strike.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Oh, we do a 5-player like evening of playing Bridget from Amstrad.
Lee would love that.
We just thought it'd be a bit of fun.
Mineral.
Yeah. We just thought it'd be a bit of fun, a bit of a giggle, something to do.
Yeah, it's a good idea, because what's going to happen on that stream is everyone's just going to laugh at you for an hour as you try and make things work.
Yes,
because everything breaks.
Right. Whose idea was it to play this? Whose idea? Could be
working a bit ago, honestly.
A bit like your Atari, yeah.
Yeah, my bloody Atari.
What's wrong with your Atari?
Well, this week's video, I built another Uno cart, but the latest version.
Oh, yeah.
I sold all this up. I was dead happy because you know what I like, doing these on a heat plate and not getting the pins joined and everything under my control. Went to turn the Atari on, flash. Put a normal game in it, flash. So I went, okay. As usual, you know what it's like making a video on these. People don't understand. You spend all week doing something and then you get to the end, it still doesn't work.
And then you go, right, I'm going to release it anyway and say this is what happens. And then they go, oh, you faked that for views. Yeah. And that's my VCS for views. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, well, you do something, like I say, and then people just disagree with you anyway, like they did with me last time, because I demodified this Spectrum I had. They hated it.
Oh, yeah.
Some people hated it. Some people liked it, but I wanted it back to how it was when it came out of the factory. So that's the way I am.
You put the modulator back in?
No, it had like these. It was converted to 2 voltages. So the 12 and a 5 volt is converted to. So it had massive caps inside it.
Yeah.
The whole DC side had been ripped out, obviously. And then they put 5 volt memory, and I didn't spot this 5 volt memory, so I put it all back together and stuck 12 volt through the 5 volt memory. It got very hot very quick. Exactly.
Yeah, but when you stick new memory in, it should work.
I did, yeah. It's working now. It's fully working. It's behind me.
Better. Putting it back the way it was, in my opinion, that's how it should be. So what's happened there is somebody's not been able to get the transistor, the ZTXs, to do the switching to get the 2 voltages out, which is a bonkers way to get 2 sets of voltages. To use like transistors to do it that way, it's absolutely so cheap. It's incredible.
Yeah, those two in the corner, isn't it? Those 2 transistors. Because I know, because I kept blowing them up. I kept going around in a circle and blowing them up. Because they had the 5-volt memory, and I didn't realise that that's what it was. So after we replace them about the 3rd time and change the memory, it all worked.
Yeah, perfect. There you go.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a learning process every time.
If people are fighting on your videos, I mean, I'm not suggesting you should make videos that people are going to fight on, but if people are fighting on your videos, it doesn't hurt views, does it? Let's be honest.
It doesn't. No, I mean, at the end of the day, I look at it, it's another comment, and I'm always respond to them all anyway. So, as a look, I appreciate your opinion, but this is my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a video where I remove SMD capacitors by snipping through the top. People were like going mental, absolutely mental.
Yeah.
I'm not noticing like the thumbnail. I'm literally holding a hammer like that and go.
Lee, you did one and all, didn't you? You got a load of abuse and all, didn't you?
Yeah, I love cutting them fuckers off.
That's the way
you love it now, don't you?
Yeah, I get in there, cut them straight off. People lose their shit when they see
it's the way to do it. You can't tell me it's not a great way to do it.
Tweezers now.
It's actually the gentlest way to do it, especially if they've leaked. Try and hold a soldering iron on an SMD cap that's leaked and get the heat through that leg.
And the smell, the fit.
The smell, So you take it off, you got 2 legs, clean them up, bang, straight off.
Yeah.
And the people who argue about it are people who've never done it in their life. They've never done it. It's really someone else's opinion.
Yeah. You could twist them off as well. I've seen that. Have you seen that?
Oh God, yeah! Don't do that.
Yeah. You know, I watched Adrian Digital Basement doing that, and that's what he does all the time.
It's okay until that one time.
That one time it'll lift the pad and then drag the trace with it.
No, the angle grinder works well.
Yeah. Fixes the machine so you don't need to fix it anymore. It takes something off your to-do list.
Broken bar.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't matter which way you do it, really. You've also got people quibbling on it. I mean, you're using an heat gun and you've got chances of lifting up the silk screen and stuff like that.
Delaminate and bubbles.
You know, there's so many things that you can say negatively about every way that you do to remove them, to be fair. But yeah.
I can genuinely say, cutting the can off, I've never lifted a track, and it's always allowed me to get to the source of the problem where it's leaked. Whereas hot air, I've lifted, I've delaminated a board. Using the soldering iron, oh my God, it just seems like a nightmare. You get one side off and then you're trying to get the other side off and it won't take. Your dwell times through the roof. But lots of people do it, but nobody says it publicly. I thought, well, I'll just say it publicly because people need to hear this. And I don't care if people hate me, let's be honest.
Yeah. I mean, if you slip it off, as long as you get the regs straight and you cut them straight in line, it's going to be fine. I mean, if you go like that, pulling them in, then you...
Leg to leg, and you've got to have a dead sharp pair of snips. And if you put your finger on, stop it moving, and just go. You're literally gently cutting through, and you lift it off, dead gentle. The coil comes up, the foil, and then you just got the 2 legs, and then you clean them up with cotton bud. They come off dead easy and slide them off. You know.
That's the way to do it.
I think so. I've never had a problem, and I actually do it. So you know.
If it works for you, it works for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's whatever way
you do.
Exactly.
Right, I'm talking too much again. Someone else say something.
Neil loves a bit of compa shit. Do you? What's your video preference?
Say that again.
Neil, he loves a bit of compa shit. So, what's your video preference?
Composite is ace, mate.
What, for editing or?
No,
for console.
I'm not sure.
I just find it really easy to get, basically. Like, if you've got a Spectrum, composite is dead easy. You just pick it up from the RF modulator. Same as the Atari, composite is easy with the Atari.
See,
it works for me.
It's difficult
Especially
for me to
my
say.
eyes nowadays.
It's because there's so many. Not everything's capable of what I prefer, which is RGB SCART.
Yeah, that's definitely good. Yeah,
but if the machine's capable of RGB, I'll go for RGB. I don't want to be retrofitting HDMI into consoles because that's crap. Apart from the Dreamcast with the DC digital, that's really good and that fits nicely and that gives you extra options. But composite's all right. I mean, it's better than what we had back in the 80s and 90s. Let's be honest. You know? I mean, TV, it kept fuzzing out of tune. One puts the hairdryer on next door, and all of a sudden, Open University bleeding in. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
People forget. They forget just how dreadful it was back then. You know,
They don't realise, do they?
No, they're like,
oh, that's what it is.
Not, you know, you see some videos and they're going, and now we're going to look at like the difference between this mod and that mod, and they put them on the screen. And I'm like, what? Exactly the bloody same.
Yeah.
You know?
And you can
going, oh yeah, but look at the color rendition on like on Link's cod piece. It's like much warmer. I'm like, what? If you're worried about how you're playing the game, if you're worrying about that, you pixel peeping weirdo. Staring at Link's crotch for. Maybe that says more about me.
Right, I've got a question for you anyway.
Oh God.
Okay, if you could go back in time and stop any computer or console ever being made, which one would it be?
Amstrad.
No, you say that straight away.
See, here's the problem. If you stop the Amstrad, then they wouldn't have had a big market segment, and Alan Sugar wouldn't have bought Sinclair after they run it into the ground. So you can't.
I had a Commodore. I didn't give a fuck.
A different world, though, wouldn't it? Different world.
It would be, yeah.
Can't change the timeline. Can you imagine? Well,
difficult question. I knew Lee would say
not that difficult. I'm just trying to think, you know, what's the least consequential waste of bloody time? Any console, I'd say the worst
computer.
I
know what I'd go for.
That'd be the Apple Pippin, wouldn't it?
Apple Pippin. If you erase that from history, no one would notice.
That's
what I mean. No one's got one anyway. Probably something awful like the Tiger Gamecom. Have you seen that? It's so awful.
Seen one of them.
Is that LCD job?
Yeah, LCD thing. It had a Resident Evil game on it. And it's quite literally just black and white pixels.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I mean, it had a built-in organizer. So yeah, +4 is a good comment.
+4.
Osborne. I've got Osborne here somewhere.
Hang on, the Osborne was that was.
Yeah, it was portable.
Yeah.
First one.
Z80 based. What was that shit called? The Commodore 128 CPM.
CPM, yes, it's CPM machine. Yeah.
There you go. Somebody's just said what I was going to suggest, which is a Commodore 128, because I think that was a waste.
Oh, that's just fucking bollock.
That's a missed opportunity.
There's no need for that kind of language at all.
Yeah, but listen, it came out when the Amiga was around, so what was the point?
The C128 was amazing.
Yeah, but it was too late.
Osborne I've got what was it? Oh, I haven't got one, but I'll tell you a machine that fits dead into that. Shouldn't have bothered category. The Sinclair QL.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, with the little micro drives.
No market for it. Really badly thought out. Absolute boring as hell.
Didn't work.
Yeah, really bad productivity software, and the games are just turgid dross. And people will come at me now. They'll go, "Oh yeah, but all the homebrew that's been done for it, it doesn't matter now, does it?
No, it's too late.
No one's going to travel back in time and buy it. It's all part of our history." You can include things in there like the Dragon, not the Dragon, sorry, the Enterprise 64 and 128. computers that a lot of people don't know existed. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't think of any of the main players that I'd erase from the timeline because I think it would be
consequential. They all contribute to each other, don't they?
Yeah. And I like that they were different. I mean, I like that the Amstrad was different and it was colourful. It ran a bit slower than the Spectrum, but also the Spectrum wasn't as colourful and it had colour clash. You know.
Hang on, right?
The Commodore.
It had the same CPU in it, and then as soon as they had any colour on the screen, it just shat itself.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, that's why.
But that was the difference, wasn't it? I mean, if you look nowadays, you've got the Xbox and the PlayStation. What's the difference?
Exactly that. Exactly.
You might get Spider-Man on one, and you don't get it on the other one. That's it.
The only difference is one says press X. Hold both trigger buttons to take a selfie.
And the other one says,
everyone says press square and hold both bumper buttons to take a selfie. That's the only difference. It's just
that's it. It's gone. That difference is gone.
It has
got all the same. The overall difference between the Xbox and the PlayStation is it's almost identical hardware.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's gone, hasn't it?
And software-wise, they all use a similar stack, and the code's portable. So
the only difference is controller in your hand, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And then it just comes down to the footballification of consoles. You're either Team Sony or you're Team Xbox, and you scream and scream and scream your beloved heart out for a brand that couldn't care if you were on fire with hepatitis. You know, as long as they get your games as a service subscription every month. It's it was PS3 and the Xbox 360, and that's when I really lost interest because
you started going very similar, like you say.
I mean the Xbox was just a cut down PC.
The
original Xbox at the same time as the PS2. The PS2 had the Emotion Engine and some specific hardware in there, but after that, the Xbox creeping into the market, I think that showed Sony that really, you don't want to be piling all your money into things like the Emotion Engine and all your backwards compatibility. You need to either do that in software or you're not going to stay up with Microsoft. They're really pushing into the market. They've hoovered up some Sega properties. Sega's out now. Sega, the Dreamcast was brilliant, but even that, was guilty of using quite a lot of off-the-shelf stuff. But that's what I often say. People are like, well, when did you sort of lose interest in the differentiation between the machines? I'm like, it was probably, the 360 came out, and that was just two different PCs, really. So, yeah.
As story goes, the original Xbox was actually the Dreamcast 2, in a sense.
Is that true? I don't know. I've heard it said.
Other than sort of Japanese controllers, that has 4 joystick ports. I'm on the understanding that Sega had decided to pull out of the gaming market to stop producing consoles, so they'd actually given sort of the pattern across to Xbox. And the Xbox changed it into, obviously, the Xbox One. They probably redesigned it completely and put a different motherboard and everything in it. But the idea and the patent of it apparently will go over there. They gave them it and then asked them for the rights to be able to write the games for it.
Oh, right. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know. Like I say, that was when I went, nah, stuff this.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've always been an avid gamer throughout my life, all the way through, but it just seems like as I'm getting older, the modern stuff's
getting harder.
Not pushing it, not doing it. Yeah, maybe I'm slowing down and my eyesight's not fast enough.
That's all it is.
There's no maybe about it. It's a fact, Jack.
You need a lag switch.
Years ago, in that company I was talking about, we had a network naturally, and we used to play Quake 2. And I'd set it up on a network, and the finance director and the sales manager, we'd all play, and I would be running around. I'd be rail gunning them. I'd be, it was so easy. I was just beating them, and they'd shout out the door down the hallway like expletives and stuff. But they'd be like, yeah, it's just because you're young. I'm like, no, it's because I'm good. They're like, no, it's because you're young. You don't realise. And I went, I'll never be bad at this. And they were right. It was because I was young. I was just quicker. And I see my kids, they're playing these bloody rhythm games on like the tablets and that. Like, I'm like, I can't even see the screen that fast. Fingers that quick. And guess what? I don't want to either.
Yeah, you don't realise, do you, that your reaction time doesn't half slow down the older you get.
Yeah, it does. And your eyesight's not so good. And
exactly, you miss things. And
I mean, I don't know if it's age that's done the eyesight in, or like 20 odd years of unrestricted internet videos. You know,
retro computers. Try and tune them in.
Retro computers, you know, definitely retro computers, and not like King of the Tissue Mountain.
Yeah.
Kleenex.
Tag on the Amiga.
Community. Why is she stuck? Why is she stuck in the washing machine? I need to find out how to disassemble the unit.
I'm watching a video on how to repair a washer.
Yeah. Why? She wasn't stuck all along. This video's a fraud. She'll write in the comments section.
AI generated.
25 seconds.
What do you reckon to this AI stuff?
I think AI is going to be a big part of our lives going forward. And a lot of people are railing against it because it's change. My personal opinion is AI right now, with things like DALL-E and all the ChatGPT and stuff, the applications of AI at this moment are very much like the application of CD-ROM technology in consoles in the 90s. It was this technology, nobody really knew what it was for yet. So they did stupid things with it, like shoehorned it into everything they could think of because it was the new thing. And I think in about 10 years, AI will be something that just works alongside us day to day as it's intended. We just haven't worked out what it's intended for yet. I've got no problems with it. I don't like people using image generation and claiming they're doing art, because they're not. That's not art. That's typing something in and go, oh yeah, but I had to refine the prompt. No, you didn't. You just kept going until it randomly stole some people's work.
Absolutely loads on Facebook now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it just removes all creativity, doesn't it? And you can just sit there and write a paragraph and hit a button.
You don't know what film's coming out now because you don't know whether it's an AI created film or whether it's a real film. So I have to keep Googling it to see if it's real.
Yeah. And then you're finding people are bloody, they're going, oh, it is real, it is real. And people are going, no, it's not real. And then people are picking, then ChatGPT's picking it up, feeding it back into Google and going, it is definitely real. People are saying it's real. There was this band in the 90s called Pop Will Eat Itself, and what I didn't realize was they actually meant pop culture is going to eat itself. It's like the Ouroboros snake, which just goes in a circle and it's constantly feeding on its own tail, except much in the manner of the human centipede. It's feeding.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
I mean, it is cracking. I love my technology. I've got to love my technology. And I think AI is going to be absolutely fantastic in the future.
But there's no getting away from it. I mean, some of the applications of AI are absolutely brilliant time savers.
The scary side of it, though, I mean, it's like...
that's what's getting the public's attention, I mean...
That's because of Terminator.
Did you see that with Google, though, why they shut it down?
No. Was that where it started aping human behavior and lying?
Kind of. Apparently it had started writing code, which they couldn't understand.
Okay.
And it's encrypted, and another quantum computer could not decrypt it.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's Skynet.
They don't know whether it were actually trying to build itself a defense shield around itself, because they were finding anomalies in the code from somewhere. And the other hypothesis of it that they said is that they were frightened that they're broken into consciousness.
That's why they need Josip to
I
decode
think
it.
that's a bit far-fetched, is the consciousness side of things. Like,
Most humans haven't broken into consciousness yet.
you only broke into consciousness 10 minutes before stream. What are you on about?
I woke up and realised I was still in a freaking matrix.
I'm not really sure in that consciousness thing, but about power consumption, that will be interesting topic for the. Yeah, nobody talking about that.
I've done a picture of a dog on a skateboard. It's used the same amount of energy as Haiti.
What's that one? 24 hours.
What's that?
That comment there, I can't flag them. See the last comment?
Microsoft was released.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
About basically, yeah. It didn't understand the nuance of everybody getting along with each other, and just decided that if some people were a problem, just get rid of them.
Like
serious, it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of binary
Rudy said
thinking
AI
that
still can't write proper programs in BASIC. Yeah, that's maybe true, but other languages, it's really good.
I mean, again, it's good for coding and stuff. Is
absolutely for Python, for C.
I went on it and just put, write me a Commodore 64 program that's going to say please waiting with flashy things on the end of it and change colours on screen, and it did. It didn't give it any line numbers or out like that, so I told it, BASIC doesn't uses line numbers. Please add them. So you stood it straight in, and it worked. It worked. I'm quite surprised, to be honest.
It struggled a little bit with Commodore 64 BASIC, but other modern languages, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, silly thing is, you can give it a PDF of the manual for 64 and read it and go through it. It's quite amazing gear, really.
It is.
But again, it takes the creativity away from it, doesn't it?
I presume it's going to be a different way of creativity using AI. Why not? It's not like it's all problems are solved now that we have AI. No. Let's say you would need different kind of skills to use that AI to create something, whether it's program or it's design or whatever it is, right? So yeah, some things are going to be different in the future, definitely. That's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, one of the biggest challenges of AI isn't the AI itself. It's the current crop of people who are running the AI companies, because it's going to be a dominating force. And, the people who are running the AI companies are almost, to a man jack, all complete assholes. So... you've got to think, do you want billionaires? I don't want to take this stream the wrong way, but do you want billionaire man babies running the world?
Baby.
Yeah.
We were talking about that just before stream.
We were. You missed it.
Absolutely mental, and you're giving someone a lot of power over the world. So
it's just mental times at the moment, to be honest. So it's so crazy at the moment, but it is what it is. We're just the little people that can't do much about it.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
Just sat here building my bomb shelter without planning.
Doing our videos.
They'll all come running to us when the Acorn Electrons.
Exactly. Yeah. When they've all knocked themselves back technology wise, and they only need 8 bits running. With no internet. Exactly.
Lee's running around using the CPC 464 like a broadsword.
Not a chance. The only time I'd use a 464 is if I need the door held open.
Funny door, mate. I would have portcullis open with one of them. It's a drawbridge at the same time.
Exactly.
It's a big lump of shit, isn't it?
It's rather large.
Yeah.
It's a great machine, mate. You underestimate them, Lee.
No, I know what they are.
My biggest thing against the CPC range was when you had a Spectrum or a Commodore, because the graphics were a little bit like Bonnier in a still shot. On the back of the games, you always had the screenshots from the Amstrad CPC version. You load up the Spectrum version, it was black and white. You load up the Commodore 64 version, it was in shades of brown. You load up the CPC version, it was incredibly colourful, but running at like 1 frame a second. It just ported the code straight across from the Spectrum and coloured it in.
Have you noticed that nearly all the games on the Amstrad are fucking orange? And they're like retina burning. It's unreal.
Hello, Simon. Big hello to my personal friend Simon. Hello. Simon helped me clear out some of the garage here.
All right, cool.
He's like, contact me every day going, have you got planning permission? And I'll just cry. I'll just cry at him for an hour every day.
Every day do you get that? Every single day. Right on the dot.
Now. He's sick of me moaning.
He answered phone and he goes, how about now? Now?
Have you not done that bit of a job yet?
So I've got one more question. Yeah. What's your retro holy grail you've not managed to find?
Sam Coupe.
Sam Coupe?
Yeah.
Right, that's okay. I didn't expect that.
What were you thinking I was going to say?
Eh?
What were you thinking I was going to say?
Nothing. I thought, can you know?
Like Bonnie Jazz Mags.
That's something. No. I didn't expect that. Oh, I know you like your Spectrums, obviously, and stuff, but yeah, that's probably why. Actually, it makes sense now. Actually, you'd want one of them.
Yeah, I saw it in the magazines, and then I never actually saw one in real life.
Was that like the 16-bit machine? Was it?
I think it was.
It came around the Amiga time.
Yeah, I mean,
with a 3.5-inch disc.
Yeah. Too little, too late. Developed by.
I can sort of remember them in the magazines at exactly around the time because I had an Atari ST at the time.
Yeah, I had no hope of going up against the ST. So
yeah,
and the Amiga, I won't say it blew the ST out of the water because there was a market for both, but both of those, Miles Gordon Technology, which I think had some ex-Sinclair employees working on the Coupe, had no chance. It was too little, too late. It was like the QL. It was completely misguided, but it's such an interesting machine. There's a plug-in unit for it where it will run Spectrum games, which again, it's funny. It really held the machine back then.
Exactly, yeah.
A new platform. But then you go to today's consoles and everyone's going, I'm only going to buy the Xbox 5 if it's compatible with every game since Jesus were a boy. You know, it's true. It's true. Well, if I had a PlayStation 99 if I can put my PS Vita cartridges in it.
So have you seen a Sam Coupe? Have you used one?
No, I've not used one. I've seen one, which was over at the mill. I told Neil that he needed to give it to me, but he said no, which I think makes him a bad person.
It's a bit tight, isn't it? I do agree.
He's actually got two.
Looks weird.
Doesn't work.
It's like a backwards computer, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is a bit weird. Yeah, it's like someone looked at someone looked at the design book for ergonomics and said, look, we've made some really great advances in like design for comfort and ergonomics of use over the last 10 years. So screw that. Let's put drives on the front. So we've got a do like Dracula playing a piano. Yeah.
But if you look at that now, that reminds me of a laptop bottom. You could stick a trackpad in that and a screen on it.
Yeah. If you look at that now, having worked for Epson, who make quite a lot of point of sale stuff and tills.
Yeah, exactly. Or till,
hardware to me, because I just imagine the drawer kicking out with the cash drawer underneath.
Cash, yes.
It's a bloody ugly thing, but I still want one.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll find one.
Eventually, I will.
It just reminded me of early Sega games consoles.
Yeah, the SMS.
Yeah.
1000s.
Yeah, the Sega something 1000. Yeah.
I think it's just colour scheme, to be fair. But it's the first time I saw one, it just made me jump out at the did that.
Yeah, I think they called it the coupe because if you look at its side on, it looks like a car or something. I don't know.
Yeah, strange.
It's a funny joke. It's a funny joke.
Did you see the Amstrads that look like a Commodore Amiga?
Oh, you mean
yeah?
Yeah,
they were one the other day on Facebook, and I thought, what the hell's that?
They look like a toy out of a cracker.
No, they look like an Amiga, honestly, mate.
No, they don't. They got that fucking ridiculous tape deck built in the back.
No, it's not that one, was it?
No, he's not talking about the Plus. He's talking about the ones that were basically 8086 PC.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it was like an 086 or something.
The Sinclair did the PC 2000. It was very, very similar.
That was it. Yeah, they both did two machines, didn't they? That looked like Amigas. They're very strange. I'd never seen one.
They were both owned by Amstrad at the time, so it was accident. Yeah,
we badged it.
They're fucking horrible.
Yeah, they're interesting to have, but you wouldn't want to be using it for anything.
But wouldn't you like to get something like that as well, just to try?
I've had one of those.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, with the monitor. But it went up to the Spirit in the Sky.
I've got a Dragon 32 to try. I'm quite excited for trying that, but I've got no Cuthbert games yet because that's all I ever remember.
Yeah, I've never played the Dragon 32 in anger. I've got one though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in the garage. The damn unmodified garage. Simon's out there going, oh God, he's going on about the garage again.
You got planning permission for it yet?
He was like, that house is in a conservation area. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not on the map. He said, it is. I said, no, it's not. And he went, it is. He showed me a map. Went, oh, it's in a conservation area. I went, I told you. I went, why did you tell me that before I bought it?
You'll get something sorted, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
Just do it anyway.
Just tell him who you are, how famous you are. You'll be sorted.
Yeah. I'll say, don't you know who I am?
Exactly.
No,
do you know?
Alzheimer's forgot who I am.
So looking back at some of your early videos, not so long the other day, I thought I'll just brush up on a little bit of the older stuff. I mean, I've watched your videos for a lot of years, to be honest, Mark.
I'm sorry.
I know, shit happens, But no, right, honestly, I mean, yourself and some of those. I mean, I like watching Jan Beta. I've watched the 8-Bit Guy.
Oh, it's Jan Beta.
Yeah. Exactly. 8-Bit Guy doesn't seem to do much anymore, does he? Just much restoration that he does. It's more other things and arcade machines these days.
Yeah.
But some of you guys are what inspired me to get going and doing YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, like I said to you earlier, I started out with
apologise to everyone else as well now. Then.
No, that's why I ain't got as many subs.
Yeah, we thought it was easy. We saw you guys do it. Thought this is dead easy.
I don't know what he's talking about. It must be easy.
Then I met Steve, and Steve took me under the wing and told me I've got to go on camera. I thought I'm never going on camera. So my hands, that's all it is. Yeah,
it's just a fear of going in front of the camera for the first time. Once you've done it a couple of times, you just forget about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like going on camera just because it's extra work, really. It is a lot of extra work, setting up the camera, making sure you're in focus, knowing what you're going to say. Then when you know what you're going to say, you're unable to say it because...
Exactly, yeah. You're going back into all a while, saying the same thing 5 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work. It's like you said earlier on, wasn't it? People don't realise, but making even a 20-minute video, it can be a hell of a lot of hard work to do so.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying things as well.
So I remember you saying in one of your videos about not watching subs and watching them grow, because when you're doing YouTube, you shouldn't really be watching subs and you shouldn't really be watching anything else, and your main focus really should be on your content.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to look at your subscriber numbers because, I mean, from a statistical point of view, if you can do a video and 10% of your subscribers watch it, you're doing really, really well. And if you can keep your engagement going so that people are watching 50% or more of that video, that's a really good video, and that really gets YouTube to, pop that in front of other people. And if you can get them to make a comment on top of that, then you've really got the avalanche rolling downhill. So subscriber number isn't actually that important. What's important is that if you've got a number of people and you can get 10% of those people to look at your video for 50% of the time, that's the magic formula.
Yeah.
Anything more than that is gravy. So if you've got 100,000 subs and you can only get, 10%. Let's say, if you can only get 5,000 people to look at your video, YouTube's going to look at that statistic and go, this video isn't interesting his subscribers. People are interested in his channel. So we're not going to push that in front of other people. Yeah. So having too many subscribers who aren't engaged actually actively harms your channel. That's why 10 years ago, if you wanted a sponsor, they would be interested in how many subs you've got. Now, if you get approached by a sponsor, they ask you your subscriber count, your demographics. Then they look at how many people have watched your videos. They do that calculation, and they say, well, what's your best video? What's your worst video? What's in the middle? And then they work out whether it's good value for them to pay you to promote their product.
Yep.
And, I mean, I'll make no bones about it. A lot of the videos I make, I've got sponsors on because I couldn't afford to sit there and make that video at a loss, let's be honest, because by the time you put all those hours in, you're making less than minimum wage.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't do it without those sponsors. So I understand also that if they're sponsoring me, they've got there's got to be a value proposition for them. But you see some reprobates in the retro community who'll set up a channel and then they'll go and buy subscribers. I'm like, one, mate, you're wasting your money. Two, none of those people
are going to watch it
from that, that subscription farm in one of the stands somewhere are going to watch it. So all you're doing is making it look like you don't publish content which satisfies your subscriber base. And YouTube are just going to bury you. They're absolutely going to bury you. So you better have organic growth on a channel slowly, because you're much more likely to hit the algorithm and have a runaway success. And that's
the idea that you should untick the box to notify your subscribers.
Depends
because
on
it affects your impressions.
Well, it depends upon your subscribers. I mean, and that's more a matter of have you got people who want to be notified in their feed? Because remember, the feed doesn't come up on quite a lot of platforms. So quite a lot of my viewers, for example, over 75% of my viewers are on mobile and tablet now. And 50% of views overall on YouTube as of this month are on TVs now. So the feed doesn't matter there. You don't get the notifications. They come up in a separate window. So it's a question of, do you want to annoy your subscribers with a notification? And the question is, you have to ask yourself on a case-by-case basis, are they going to find the video anyway? If they're interested in what you do, they're going to find it anyway, because if they've clicked your last 3 videos, YouTube will definitely put you in there next, because YouTube wants you to watch their videos for as long as possible. So it is trained to give you what you want. And so what you need to do is give your subscribers what they want. And often that's not a notification. It's often not a post on the communities tab, which have really ridiculously low engagement rates, something like 0.005 click-through rate on that. So, are you going to be doing community posts on the tab in YouTube, or are you going to be going off and creating something that people are going to see and like, or engaging with people on, I don't know, BlueSky or X or Facebook, whatever your social media platform of choice is? But yeah, organic growth, small organic growth is much better than lots of empty stuff. Reese from Control Alt Reese, he had an issue because he did a video on solar panels a while back, and his channel really got a lot of people who subscribed. But then, of course, Reese is an Atari channel, so a lot of people who subscribed for his solar content were
not interested in the Atari.
And that video was so popular, he kept getting new subscribers for it, and it was doing what I said. It was increasing his subscriber base with people who didn't necessarily want to watch his core content. So it was damaging his channel. So that's why he took the video down.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's all, and it's brave. It's a brave move to take down a video that's doing really well and making you ad revenue as well.
You don't really want to do that, do you? As such, for yourself, it's something that you don't want to do is pull it down.
I had something similar about 10 years ago. I changed the drive belt on a tumble dryer, and I don't really do white goods, obviously, but I mark fixes stuff. And I've always said it's not just about retro. I'll fix anything. I mean, I've got a pair of my studio monitors I need to repair, but that's sort of in a techie geeky domain.
Yeah.
But I did do a drive belt on a tumble dryer. It's a good video, worked well. And then all I got was absolutely bombarded with, do you know how to change the impeller pump on a Whirlpool XYZ washing machine? I'm like, oh God. So I had to delete that one for much the same reasons. I mean, it didn't have the same runaway success, but it really skewed what my viewership was looking for on the channel. And it actually dropped my engagement rate quite significantly, which is why, it's true, sir. It is true. It's, but, whilst a lot of people say, you don't have to stick in your niche, you just have to do what you enjoy. That's true up to a certain point. You need to do what you enjoy within the niche of people who watch your videos. That's why so many people start second channels for second things.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense.
And it'll even be like a format change. So my repair videos are good, but if I stream on my main channel, I lose subscribers. Really do lose subscribers quite quickly. Because people who like watching repair videos don't want to watch me stream playing a game. So that's why I've got a second channel now. For people like long form chat as well, people aren't interested in hearing me talk. So if they've joined to see how to, bodge around hardware, they don't want me to be talking to them. So again, that's something that needs to go on a second channel, because you don't want to attract subscribers that don't want your core content. It's the biggest way to harm your channel. I'm sorry, I sound like a teacher now. I'll stop.
No, it's good. It's good to listen to you.
Because obviously, no idea what my core content is, to be fair.
It's what people watch the most. It's really that simple. It's what people watch the most, crossed with what you enjoy making the most. That's your core content. That's what you should chase.
I've literally just done what I enjoy doing.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like on my own. I've probably got, I can't remember now, about 180 videos or something that I've put on there now. And to be honest, when I moved away from sort of retro stuff and come towards a little bit more modern stuff, I've only done about 5 or 6 videos on a little bit more modern stuff. But they're there. They're there at the top of the list of most watched for that month. And they're just going month on, month out is still at the top of the list. So, I mean, when you start seeing things like that in your stats, and that's what you should be sort of focusing more on.
I mean, if that's what you enjoy doing, I mean, you shouldn't just do modern stuff because you get more views, because people see through that quite quickly. Yeah. But
it's not modern as such. You know what I mean? I'm still talking probably 2005-ish, but it's kind of modern.
You know that's 2 decades ago, right?
Yeah.
Don't say that.
Just checking. But I mean, if it's something you enjoy, then you should follow that niche. And remember, there's always a wider niche out there. So, for example, you could do what's hot at the moment, trends. So, He-Man, this is a good one. He-Man, a lot of nostalgia value. It's had a recent reboot that wasn't great, in my opinion, but some people liked it. It has all the toys, so you could do He-Man, the Master of the Universe game on the Commodore 64 Elite. You could also talk about the toys, so that would bring in people from a wider niche, and that's the same nostalgia bubble.
Yeah.
The people who come for the later reboot, they might watch a bit, but they're not going to be as engaged for the nostalgia bubble. But what you might find is the people who are interested in the new film that's coming out will also be people who remember from the 80s. So that's how you draw people into a wider niche.
Yeah.
You just talk more generally, because the reason we like the computers, it's not because they're great computers. Let's be honest. They're not. It's nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same nostalgia that you've got for the vending machines that pop out the little capsules and had little tattoo books in them, or tiny little joke books and weirdnesses like that.
Yeah.
So there's always a way to widen your niche, he says. That should be in the script. I'm widening my niche, Mum. But yeah, you can't completely become a cooking channel, or start reading children's books or stuff like that.
Yeah, you can just throw it in the mix, guy. You just do one every 3 or 4 videos or something like that. You can do something with the audience watching. Just try and keep them engaged in that stuff that you're doing.
Yeah,
it's a difficult game, to be fair, isn't it? When you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it really does come down to you don't want to attract subscribers who aren't interested in your core content. And I know it sounds counterintuitive, but you don't want subscribers to things you're not going to make, because they won't watch your videos and it'll drag your channel down.
Yep.
Tell you what, Mark, you're better than vidIQ you are.
Cheaper.
You should do that. As another channel.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried that vidIQ, and to be honest, it didn't seem to do much difference, to be fair.
No, I mean, the thing is, vidIQ and TubeBuddy and things of that ilk, they do have a positive effect, but it's the same reason that Weight Watchers has a positive effect. It's not that that's doing anything in particular as a product, it's that it spurs you to be better.
Yeah.
So it's giving you a tool to concentrate on yourself. So you
like
go
a team building thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to pay for vidIQ to get ideas for videos in your niche. You go into YouTube and go, blah, blah, blah. You go to ChatGPT and say, what's popular on YouTube in retro gaming? And it will come back and it will give you some statistics for free. But what things like vidIQ and TubeBuddy do is they package that up into a set of tools, and then they always try to upsell you to the next tier, which is and all the people who are using the superstar tiers on YouTube have all been gifted it so that they'll shill.
Yeah.
I've had the email.
Have you?
Yeah. It's like, we'll give you access to this if you put
shout it out.
A 30-second bumper on the beginning at the end, and we'll also give you a commission for anyone who signs up. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Nobody watches my channel wants to know how to make their videos better. Maybe 5 people in the world watch me for that. I do stupid things occasionally. Like I did a couple of Temu videos because I thought it'd be funny just to get a load of crap off of Temu and rate it.
I've seen them videos,
Oh God. Oh, I got the grief I got about that. It ranged from you've sold out to you're basically popularizing concentration camps.
Yeah, I had Banggood. They sent me a soldering iron. They're very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sent me.
I did have things like, you're promoting the exploitation of workers in China. And I recognize that that's a problem. But also, you've got to recognize that on Temu, those same products with the same product pictures are for sale on Amazon, they're for sale on AliExpress, they're for sale on eBay. So you can't just go, oh, well, this platform is a problem, I'm going to go to bloody Amazon. Because that is quite literally the definition of a term I'm not keen on, virtue signaling, because you're not changing your lifestyle, you just shout at other people over something you're doing nothing to change. Put flag in bio, you know. But yeah, I got a load of grief over that. But to be fair, some of those products were pretty good.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that I thought would be funny, and it wasn't.
No, that Soldenheim was particularly good. Surprised me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just think that money and what it's cost you just think it's going to be cheap tack that's coming through, and maybe some of the stuff is, to be fair. But I just thought I'd try it myself and see what comes through. But
yeah, I mean, you
got emails now telling me that I've got won all this thing and I've got special prizes and we're sorry and we'll give you 2 extra free things.
Oh, yeah, that winds me up. The gamification as well. I'm signing in. I'm thinking, oh, I need a screwdriver set, and I go into an app, and before I can search for what I want, it pops up. Hey, you have won! Like,
or shake the phone.
Click here to see what's in the mystery box.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a baked-in animation. You've always bloody won. I'm just cancelling it. I don't care. Oh, you've won a voucher that if you spend over 150 quid,
you get 1p off.
Yeah, I don't want that. Just
search bar's brilliant, and all you put drone in and hit the button, and you've got umbrellas.
Yeah. or see-through plastic underwear.
That's the latest one, yeah.
I don't need to see in there. I was disappointed earlier before I put the underwear on. Thanks.
That's it. Click.
Add to cart. Oh, it looks like a sleeping hamster in cling film. Have I lowered the tone
up to an hour and a half, and I think we should wrap it up around about there. If anybody else has got anything else that you'd like to ask Mark before we pack up,
watch them all come in now. 100 questions.
That's it. All fire up in all.
I suppose I should have a chat, really.
Yeah. It's been absolutely fantastic for you to come on, Mark. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you've enjoyed it yourself, Bert.
Well, thanks for the invite. I'm always happy to come and just chat absolute nonsense.
Exactly. We have had for the last few months, to be honest, and every time I remember your last response to me, why do you do streams when I'm working?
I mean, it's just like going.
Why are you working when we're doing live stream?
Yeah. Why am I working when people who watch streams are actually online?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna go away. Steve's gonna go away. Well, no, bastard, watch that.
Crazy.
So yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been absolutely fantastic. I've really enjoyed it. I hope you come on another one in the future if we decide to do that gaming challenge. Are you up for it?
Yeah, as long as you tell me exactly what to do, because I'm fundamentally a very lazy person.
Just up, down, left, right, fire.
Up, down, left, right, fire. Up, down, left, right, ABA or whatever it is. Up, down, left, right, fire.
I'm just going to work out which is left and right.
Not work it on this camera, it's backwards.
I've got left and I've got right.
A right hand, and this one's left over.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed the stream.
Lovely.
Please drop into the description and have a look for the links for everybody. All the links are there for Neil at Retro for You. We've got Josip Bits, Captain Commodore, Mark Fixit stuff, and we are in the Discord channel as well. So if you want to come and chat to us at any other time or ask us questions how to fix things, I'm sure we won't tell you how to do it, but you're welcome to come and ask. So tthank you very much, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you again, guys. See ya.
Please squad.
When I find the right button, here we go.